Hello, this is Scott and Brian from Weave Generation Channel. Today we are going to talk, we had a viewer send in an email, and she's heard the term aging in place a lot. And aging in place can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. But in general, it's a huge subject, and we'd like to just talk a little bit about that. Her second question in this, so we might bounce around these questions together, Brian. Second is questions, finding options for mom or dad. So aging in place and finding options for them. You want to start off?
Yeah, yeah. Aging in place, of course, being just this ability to live independently and safely in the community, wherever that might be. Different places where that can occur at home, in more skilled facilities. Aging in place can happen there as well. It's a lot of the different options that you need to look at really highly depend on an assessment that has been done to see where you're at, where physically and mentally, emotionally you're at, the individual is at, and that will dictate the options that they need to consider.
See, we used to go out and do assessments and take a real good look of the dynamics of the family. What does Johnny think? What's Jody think? What, this or that, and look at the whole dynamics of what their perspective is of where they think mom, dad, or grandma, grandpa need to go. Well, that may be completely different from what the senior's thinking. And so this was kind of critical when we would do these assessments to find out, okay, Kelly, where would you like to retire? Where would you like to retire? And keeping in mind, though, that it's absolutely critical that the family be thinking forward, because not always is aging in place going to be right there. Yes, you can do it. There's multiple things that come into play there. First of all, is cost, always with the family. They want to know, how much is this going to cost? Well, it depends how that looks. Are we going to age mom in place and bring in skilled nursing? Are we going to age mom in place and move mom to an assisted living and then to a nursing home? These are the things you have to think of when you talk about the term aging in place. It's a great term to say that, but aging in place is where the home is what we've discovered. The other thing she had asked, options, Brian. I mean, there's thousands of options. I'll let you kind of lead up on that one a little bit.
Options as far as
everything. It looks like she was asking for specifics like, okay, where do I find these options to move mom? Where do I move mom? First of all, do I buy an apartment? Do I, rent an apartment? All these things. There's a lot to encompass. This is a loaded question, is what this is.
Yeah, there are lots of different options. When you consider whether you need to move mom and dad or grandpa and grandma. Ideally, you've done the assessment and you've taken a look at all of the different things that enable a person to stay in their current situation. Do they, like Scott said, do they need in-home care? Do we just need to utilize a home modification scenario, maybe widen some doorways or get rid of some throw roads and add some lighting? Do we need to just bring in a meal plan, a weekly meal plan, and that's an option for them to be able to stay in their current situation? There are lots of different options, and what's really important is that when you're dealing with somebody, you talk to somebody that understands this big concept of aging in place, and doesn't make it a very narrow view based on what their wishes and their concerns are. You're the one that is in charge, and you as the family or the person need to understand that it's okay to work with somebody that understands the whole process and can give you options all along this continuum of called aging in place, and what does that encompass. That's going to decrease the stress that's involved with these roles being changed. A lot of times folks, different generations will talk about the other generation as a burden. That's of course not the case. We're really talking about the stress of wanting to do it right for mom and dad or grandpa and grandma. And that's what those are the options that we want to be able to facilitate, and those options are absolutely out there.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen it day after day when I was doing it. But again, we would love to have any of your questions. Next time, well, I don't know what we have on tap. We need to check the email for that. You can always email us at weavegeneration@gmail.com. You can also call us at 402-413-0221. And we do appreciate all your questions. Thanks for viewing.
Thank you.